Hi, my name is Jacqueline Bryan and I'm in Nevis covering the local elections for Win FM 98.9. I've been here since last week, Tuesday, and I've had the pleasure of speaking with several of the key players who will be involved in the local elections in some way. And today, Sunday, the day before polling day, I'm here with Reverend Canon Dr. Alson B.H. Percival, who is the chief of the National NGO Coalition Observer Mission that will be overseeing and monitoring pretty much the elections tomorrow on Monday, July 11th. Now, we haven't heard much from the National NGO Coalition for quite some time. We know that they also observed the federal elections in January 2010. And so it would be interesting to find out from you, Canon Percival, about what's been going on with the NGO coalition since the federal elections 2010.
Well, the NGO National Coalition just started. We've had the local NGOs that were involved primarily in St. Kitts. The St. Kitts local NGOs have been involved in the federal election. We, the Nevis NGO, that is the Chamber of Commerce, the Evangelical Association, the Nevis Christian Council, have just begun the awesome task of bringing about some semblance of order, seeing that there were various allegations reference to the Electoral office. We wanted to come in as the ombudsman to make sure that our community does not continue to deteriorate in terms of behavior that is unbecoming of our people. We're sorry that we became involved very late, because we would have liked to have met with all the players, state players, at a reasonable time and give a concluding statement. It so happened that we met with our legal advisor from St. Kitts to make us affair with the various information that was necessary for us legally. And then we met with the leaders of the political parties. Then we met with the supervisor of election, his entourage, legal advisor, etc. And we're pretty much clear in our minds what the problems are. But before we could meet to assess in the proper way and give a statement reference to what we've discovered the election was called, we do not believe that it was enough time for us to assess, reassess, and then make a statement that would allay the affairs. So, in the meantime that the election was called, the NGOs in St. Kitts are in touch with us, and so we've decided to form a national NGO organization with a view of observing the election. Hence, the group that is going to observe the election as of tomorrow.
How many members are on this team?
There are 10. 5 from St. Kitts and 5 from Nevis.
And which NGOs would comprise this team?
The NGOs are represented in the ministers of the gospel. We have decided, it's a decision by the national NGOs that the ministers of the gospel will represent the NGOs. That is the Chamber of Commerce, the Evangelical Association, and the Nevis Christian Council.
Now, it's funny you should say that you feel that you got involved pretty late, because one of the questions I put to the OAS Electoral Observer Mission was why not come in earlier so you can see in advance what happens on the ground and observe from early on what takes place prior to the elections. But the National NGO Coalition, I think you would agree, has an advantage that you guys are based here in the Federation, and so you have a working knowledge, in-depth knowledge of what's going on. So how do you think that this now sets you back?
It doesn't set us back at all. I think we have our fingers on the pulse of the situation. But in terms of individual groups, however, in order not to make mistakes, we had to come together, we had to discuss, then we had to consult, and then we had to meet. We've been meeting, I believe, from up in around late April. So although we were meeting that time, and it seems as though some time that we could have, we still had to set some time when we'll meet with the various bodies, and we were not able to meet as was planned. We had to change plans, etc. So some of them were very late, and that is the reason why. But it does not mean that we did not have our hand on the pulse and we did not understand how the heart was beating.
So when did you actually begin meeting with the people involved, or the people who would have some stake in the elections?
Well, we met first of all with Mr. Perry, the Premier.
And that would have been about when?
That would have been about maybe 7 weeks ago. And then we met with Mr. Emery, I believe, 3 weeks after. And then we met with the supervisor election, not, I would say about, soon after we met with Mr. Emery.